Hi guys, and welcome to a new video for Infinity Kingdom. This is Pyakia from server 49. I'm going to talk today about the Malice aura skill. And this is a playlist from the Tower of Knowledge. I'm describing and teaching every detail about the skills, and I wanted to start with the auras. Here, let's check the aura and let's check its description. So its name Malice. Once the battle starts, reduces the crit rate of all the enemy units by 20%. For max level, each immortal can only equip one aura skill. I talked about auras in a previous video, and this is a playlist, and please be patient with me with all the skills. So let's describe this skill clearly. It is once the battle starts, so it's so clear here. When the battle starts, so it has no cooldown. It starts from the first second to the end of the match, but be careful. This skill or this aura will be activated when the immortal is alive. If the immortal that equip this aura is dead or being killed, so this aura will be not active anymore. And this information is from my friend Kincaid. He's also a brace officer. So it reduces the crit rate of all enemy units by 20%. When to use Malice? You use Malice to counter any enemies that uses a weakness, because weakness, we talked about it before, it increases or decreases the resilience rate, so it has more chance to crit. So also you can use Malice to counter if your enemy units has weakness, and also counter some marshes like fire and shadow and water that uses crit more. I faced someone here with Malice and without Malice, and I will show you a report that I faced my fire marsh against his shadow marsh. Here, as you see, I'm using fire marsh against his shadow marsh, and my fire is very common build that Empress Wu has dealing damage. Also Cyrus assisting Empress Wu and assisting the fire by decreasing the resilience rate. Also I'm having weakness aura, and by mistake I replaced my Malice with misleading. I used to have Malice here on William, but by mistake I changed it, and I decided to talk about Malice because it is so important. I lost a fight that I could win easily. And for his Marsh, he is using weakness some here. As you see, he is using weakness here, so he didn't counter my weakness and I didn't counter his weakness with Malice. So the result here that I crit, as you see, my Empress Wu here had lots of crit hits, and in return I faced lots of crit from him, but his immortal crit. Let's talk about his immortal crit here. As you see, he had 5 attempts from Dragon Strike. The average damage is 800,000 and 4 attempts critical. The 4 attempts critical, the average damage per one hit is over 4 million damage. That's because he crit. If I just used Malice, he couldn't crit this immortal here, and this immortal alone just killed my whole march. Let's see another report here, but when I used Malice, the fire against his shadow. As you see, I used Malice here instead of misleading, and it is the same build as before and the same lineup. As you see, I'm using earth after fire and lightning before fire. So this is the same lineup, same formations, same immortals, same skills. All what I did, just changed Malice with misleading by mistake. So here, as you see, I won the full report, full attack, and the other one I lost the full attack. So let's check his stats. So my Empress Wu dealt the same amount of damage or near it. So here let's check here, as you see, lots of crit, and for his marsh he didn't crit the same amount of criticals as before. Why all of that? Because I used Malice to counter his weakness, and he didn't use Malice to counter my weakness. So Malice is so important skill. It counters the critical hit, and it can make you lose an attack or win a fight, because when you counter his critical, there is lots of ability and time to you to counter his attacks, counter his skills, and deal more damage, because your immortals won't die easily. If your immortals gained and took a lot of damage from critical hits, your Marsh will die in an instant. As you see here, the fight here lasts 46 seconds because my fire won it. And here let's check the fire against him. Even though my last report, my lightning lost to his mixed march, and my fire fought his mixed march and started the shadow. But in this report, my lightning made a slight damage on his shadow, and my fire started with shadow. The fire didn't finish the fight so fast because my fire took lots of damage from critical hits, and my Empress who didn't deal that much damage as the same report, because she didn't has much troops, because Siegfried did lots of critical hits. So Malice is so important to counter weakness, to counter marshes that can crit, like fire marsh, and most of fire marshes uses weakness, but lots of players don't use weakness on fire marsh. They just use the crit from critical damage increase from the dragon, or from William that buffs the fire marsh, or from Trajan if they have Trajan, and also Cyrus buffs the or decreases the resilience rate for enemies, so he can make the fire marsh crit more. So use Malice against fire if you have or if you are facing fire, or use Malice against water marshes with weakness. Even if you are facing an earth marsh with weakness, or holy marsh with weakness, make sure to use Malice to counter this skill. I hope I cleared everything for you. If you don't have anything not clear, or have any question, please ask me right in the comment section below. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.